Well, hello everyone. I I know that normally I have a little bit of a countdown timer for you guys to give you a little bit of heads up that I'm getting ready to go live, but that wasn't the case today. So I am here and I'm going to wait and see a couple more people come into the studio, into the program here, and then we'll get started. So let's see. So today is Tuesday, and it's a really hot, humid day here in beautiful Sarasota, Florida. I don't know what's going on in your world, but summers in Florida, they're good, but so hot, right? All right, so let me get on here so I can see who is here. And let's see here. Okay. All right. So if you are new around here, feel free to say hello in the comments. And if you do not know who I am, my name is Dawn Wolf, and my company is called Positively Famous. I'm an animal talent agent, and I am holding these Positively Famous live shows in order to bring you some awesome guests that will hopefully give you a little bit of insight of what it's like to be part of the entertainment industry, if that's something that you're interested in with your animals, and learn a little bit so that, when things do open up, hopefully, you have a little bit more knowledge than you did before. Or maybe you just like hanging out and seeing cute animals. That's all good too. So, for whatever reason you're here, I'm happy to have you. So, in a couple of minutes, I am going to bring on Stitches, the airport therapy cat. And it's just so unusual to go to an airport these days and see dogs, let alone a cat. And so I wanted to go ahead and invite Stitches to come on here to so you guys could see what that actually looks like, because maybe it's something you're interested in doing. I know that for me, when I am looking for animal talent, a lot of times, especially with cats, I do my go-to is normally show cats, people that take them out and they show them, because I know those animals are going to be very comfortable in a crazy situation like being on set. So, but in recent years, I know more people have gotten into therapy work with their animals, including cats. So I do have a few cats on my roster that are therapy cats that can go out and work on set, and I feel very comfortable with that. So again, it's something that, if you hadn't really thought about, and you think that your cat might be a good fit, Nikki's going to come on and tell you a little bit about like what that looks like to do that kind of work with cats, because I'm sure it's a little bit different than with dogs. So, all right. So let me see who is here today. Hello, Jean and Gail. Good to see you guys. I'm glad you're here. I personally don't have any cats because I'm highly allergic. And, I was telling my guest, Nikki, that, if I were to go to an airport and see a cute kitty, I would totally want to go over and say hi. But, I probably would just like wave, because I'm just so, it makes me sniff just thinking about cats. So anyways, fun stuff though. To be able to go out and do that kind of work. So God bless people like her. So, all right, I'm going to bring her in here and introduce her to you and let you meet Nikki and Stitches. Well, hello. Welcome to the show today. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really glad it worked out for you to come and hang out for a little bit and introduce us to Stitches. I just think that is just the coolest thing, that you have not only a therapy cat, but a therapy cat that goes and calms people down at airports. So I see Stitches is just sitting there nice and calm, chilling out.
Well, that's kind of her normal thing. She's actually what I have 3 cats actually, and she's watching the other 2 play. So, here we go. There she goes.
Aw. So tell me, Nikki, how did you get into this therapy work with Stitches? I mean, how did you get Stitches? How did she come into your life? Let's start there.
Well, so we had my husband and I adopted a giant medium-haired tabby boy, and he was our only cat for about 3 years. He was 2 when we adopted him. So when he was about 5, our next door neighbors got 2 kittens, and our windows line up. And so he would see them in the windows and he would cry out and rub himself on the screen and all this. And so we were like, okay, he wants a kitten. So the rule usually is to get a baby cat of the opposite sex. So we looked on Pet Finder, and there she was, and she looked just like him, like she could have been his sister. So she was being fostered by a local foster group. And so I went and visited her with her siblings, and I took a towel and rubbed it all over them and brought it home and put it on the couch, and he started making biscuits on it and purring. So we knew that was a good fit. So those
Nice.
2, he passed away 2 years ago, but up until then they were, inseparable. They would lay and groom each other, and it was kind of ridiculous. Like,
Aw.
yeah.
So did you do therapy work with any of your other animals? I mean, how did you even get involved with, now you got this cat, how did you even think, well, this cat could be a therapy cat, or how did that even come about?
Well, her personality, partly because when she was a kitten, she was fostered by a lovely couple that bottle raised her. Her and her litter were found only a week old after a tornado came through a town in northern Minnesota here, and the mom wasn't coming back. So her and her siblings were bottle raised. And so part of doing that, it gets them really acclimated to humans and not very afraid of them at all. So doing that. And then I'm a private music teacher. So students coming and families of students being here and playing with her nonstop. People are just, to her, something to go and get love from. So we had that going on. And about when she was 8, it was about 6 years ago. Well, no, how long ago was it? A few years ago, my father-in-law was in a nursing home, and we're in Minnesota and he's in North Carolina. And I had thought it would be great to have her go visit him because he loves cats, but it was just because of the distance, it would have been a really difficult thing to do. And so I thought, well, she really likes people, so let's try it out. And so we tried going to a nursing home, and she was hooked. She wanted to go to work.
Wow.
I tell her the night before, we're going to work tomorrow, and she wakes me up in the morning like, you ready? Are we going?
Aw, how sweet is that?
So for like a little over 2 years, her job was to go. We would go every Friday, and her job was to lay in bed and watch TV with people.
That's amazing. Well, because I'm sure a lot of the residents have had to give up their pets,
Yes.
so that's just very comforting for the people to be able to have her, like you said, just hang out, watch some TV, and spend some of those moments, connecting. So that's amazing. Well, so after this goes on, how did you find out about a therapy animal program at the airport? Because I know that's kind of coming out in the last, I would say, couple of years. I've been hearing a little bit more about this.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how long our division's been here at the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport, our ambassador program, but it's become far more popular throughout the years now. I think right before the COVID shutdown, I think we hit 100 dogs were participating in our particular airport.
Wow, that's a lot.
So one of the dog therapy teams that goes there, Stitches and I had done therapy events with before, and the airport went through months of back and forth with their insurance and lawyers wanting to get a cat and trying to get through all the logistics of what's different, how do we handle this. And once they finally had that up and running, they're like, okay, we need to get a cat. And my friend who has the funny little husky named Mishkin, she said, you need to get Stitches. So that's what happened. And we just happened to be the first cat at the airport here in Minneapolis. And it just took off like crazy because they were so excited. And then the excitement just kind of kept running through the internet, and passengers taking pictures of her and posting them. And then
so I want to show a couple of pictures of her. Let's see here. So here's one that I really like. Being interviewed. Everybody must think this is so cool. And there she is in her little stroller. And she's just so cute. So here's her whole. Are these all of the therapy dogs that also go?
Yes. So the husky there on the left, that is actually Tolstoy. He is a housemate of Mishkin, the husky that we usually interact with at the airport. So Tolstoy's a good guy, but Mishkin plays a toy piano. So in this, the whole therapy group thing for the people that are watching and that have done therapy work, like even just going to the meetings, it's ridiculous. It's just so much fun. So that particular event, we had Stitches, we had a Husky, we had, I think, a Labradoodle, we had Bishop the Great Dane, who's a good buddy of hers. She loves his energy. And the two or three rats.
Wow.
And
I love rats.
They actually got a picture of a rat on Bishop the Great Dane. I forget which rat it was. The rats are so sweet.
They are sweet.
She's met the rats and they just kind of sniff and they're like, okay, whatever.
Wow. She's a very good kitty. That's amazing. So I want to play a video here in a second, but so just tell us a little bit. So when you're out at the airport and somebody comes up and wants to pet her, are they just reaching in the stroller? Do you pick her up and let people actually hold her? Like, what does that look like at the airport?
So she's not really a pickup cat.
Okay.
Those people who have cats that, you have a cat that loves to be picked up and you have another cat that you pick it up and every time it's like, that's not really their thing. Her big thing is to lay in what we call the rolling throne, which is her stroller, on her blankie and just be worshipped. That's her whole spiel. That's her job.
Interesting. But let me go ahead and play this little video that we have of her out there. Let's see. I can share this. Okay, so everybody can see this.
So this was her trial run at the airport. That the Airport Commission, which is separate from the foundation that we work for, they came out with all of the bigwigs and their all of their airport badges and everything, standing around watching, seeing how she's going to do. And they had this crew with one of the people that works at the MAC, the Airport Commission, was in charge of doing the video promotions and stuff. And they put that together. That was her trial day to see how she would do with that particular atmosphere. Because an airport can be very different than a nursing home. I mean, it's very loud and
very different.
Rolling suitcases, and that was actually my biggest fear. Anybody who's had cats with suitcases, that you worry, is she just going to jump on a suitcase? Is she going to end up in someone's bag? So, yeah, that was a big part of it, and the noise and being able to keep her engaged while the smell of food is going by. But it's just our job at the airport is to just spread sparkles to the passengers, the employees, the other volunteers. It's like she's there for everybody.
And so how long are your visits to the airport? I mean, are you there for an hour? Are you there for 2 hours? What does that look like? In case somebody, is looking at this going, oh, wow, that would be amazing to go do. What is really the time commitment involved with getting involved in something like that?
Well, according to Pet Partners, which is the national therapy animal group that we belong to, the maximum amount of time is 2 hours that they can do for a visit. I'm sorry, we're going to be meted by Zoe, my other cat. So that's the time limit that they can be engaged in any one event, and they're only allowed to go out once a day, and that's considered a work shift. And that that's as much as we want to stress them out and bring them back home, put them back in their regular world.
And so, do you just strictly do the airport stuff? I mean, I know pretty much everything is shut down, but in your normal world, would you still go out to the nursing homes too, or you just pretty much focus on the airport at this point?
Our main focus is the airport. When things were up and running, we were there every Friday, 3 to 5. And it was really nice to have a set schedule because even the employees knew Stitches is coming today. And I would even have people waiting outside of TSA, waiting to go home from their shift because they wanted to say hi to Stitches. So that's been our main focus, but we've also been doing going to schools to read to kids.
That's a great program. How did you find out about that?
Well, that's another Pet Partners thing, the Read to Me program. And then one of the things that we had going on with our local library this past summer was called Read to a Breed. And we actually were at the the Minnesota State Fair for a day. During that, our therapy group was out there in mass with guinea pigs, bunnies, dogs, the whole
Wow.
work, and Stitches and another cat. And our job was for kids to come over and read to her. We tend to have more millennials than kids, but that's all right too.
Oh,
So
wow.
we've done that. And then that photo that you showed of the whole menagerie of animals, that was at a church high school lock-in. So we were there in probably 9 at night, and we were like the de-stress between certain activities. And
Wow.
so we get to do a whole lot of fun stuff. We actually, and I'm glad we're doing this show today, because part of what we've been doing, the last 2 years, we've gone to the St. Paul Cat Show in hopes of recruiting more cats to be therapy cats. Because
Wow. Okay.
hi, little buddy. Yeah, because part of the idea is like probably what you understand more than most people is that that show cats are used to going, first of all, getting in a carrier and going somewhere, and then
Yes.
being held by strangers, being in noisy environments, different smells, things like that. That we thought, that would be a great place to start trying to get people to volunteer with their cats.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, yeah, it's really a shame that all of this has happened, because I was supposed to go to the Columbus Pet Expo, and they were going to have like cats as part of it. So it was going to be like this huge event, and everything got shut down because that was in the beginning of March. So I was really looking forward to going out and finding a bunch of cats out that way. So because I do work in that area fairly often, Cleveland and Chicago and stuff like that. So I haven't been to your neck of the woods there for a little bit though. So
if you ever come to town, we'll have you come to a therapy animals meeting if there's one going on. We do one about 4 times a year. And for people that are interested in doing this with their dogs, their cats, they have a chicken, your bird, things like that, to reach out to a local therapy group and see if you can attend a meeting, because it is about the silliest support group you can ever belong to.
yes.
The last time I went, there was this constant snoring going on, and it was a Cocker Spaniel 2 chairs away from me. So, I mean, it's those kinds of people.
Yes. Well, I actually do, I have lots of therapy dogs and stuff that work for me. And I do have a lady who has some cats up in New York that's a therapy cat, Mr. Apollo. But I would absolutely love for, that to kind of spread and people get more into doing that with their cats. Because I know when I get a casting call, I'm always like, okay, well, who has a good cat? And, I have people send me, they'll email me pictures of their cat in their house. And I'm like, well, I really need you to go out and put your cat on a harness, take it out to a pet store, somewhere, Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever. And let me see how the animal acts out of your house, because
Right.
cats don't always acclimate so well. And when I actually do in-person auditions, I hold them out at big hotels where we have like a big lobby, and I can grab a drink, and people can bring animals in, and I can kind of see them in that type of an environment. So, because, again, cats that just stay at home all the time don't really do all that well sometimes going out on set. So I love therapy cats and show cats. And
Yeah. Well, I frequently get asked, how did you train her to do this? And that's a huge difference between cats and dogs. A cat either wants to do this or they don't. I mean, you basically, through communication, and cats love being communicated with, words and signals and the eyes and everything, that you can kind of judge where they want to do things. And it really is about, doing what the cat wants.
Yes. Well, a lot of times when we do have shoots on set, we will bring several cats and carriers in, and then, see which one kind of wants to work at that moment, right? Because we'll bring one out and it'll be like, nah, I don't feel like this right now. We're like, okay, you go back.
Yeah.
Let's try a different one. And so, yeah, cats are not dogs by any means.
No.
Birds, Andy, can you step up? Andy. And yeah, and Andy's very bratty too. Let's see if I can get rid of Andy.
Yeah. Stitch, are you watching this?
Before she gets
Can you see the?
Yeah, why don't you pick her up and so we can see like a nice close up of her. Can you grab her? Kitty, kitty, kitty. Stitches. Andy wants to see. Aw.
Let's see if I could grab her. I'm tethered with the earbuds, so this is kind of.
Oh,
I might lose you for a second.
This is true. I forgot about that.
What?
You think that's funny too, Andy? Andy's always laughing when I'm laughing. But she has such a beautiful face. I mean, she's just a gorgeous cat. Aw, she's always purring?
Always purring.
Aw,
Yeah,
that's
she's not
sweet.
normal. So her foster parents that had her until she was about 14 weeks old, they actually named her Stitch because she's ridiculous. So
Aw.
my husband and I joke that we're going to get shirts that say Stitch is not normal.
Aw, she's so pretty. She's gorgeous. Well, so tell me, so you're the second cat in the nation to go out and do this therapy work. Where was the program started? Where was the first cat at?
Well, the first cat is actually at Denver Airport.
Oh,
A short-haired tabby named Zeely, who's also a female cat. But she's a much more active cat. She walks on a harness and she likes to be picked up. The videos of her, like showing her walking through the airport and saying hi to people, where this is about what Stitches does. So.
Okay. Hey, well, I would be the one. I mean, if I were a cat, I'd probably want to just be like pushed around and have people rub my head,
Oh yeah, belly rubs galore. Yeah. And then occasionally people will give her like a little spoonful of the whipped cream off their latte.
Oh, I bet
Yeah.
she loves that.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, and so has she ever been, I'm just curious, has she ever met anybody that she really was like, ooh, I'm not too sure about this person? Is there anything that really like phases her? Because I know, like, I've had some animals where they just really don't like anybody who's like wearing a hat. Sometimes they don't like glasses if they can't see a person's eyes. Like, does she have anything where she's like, I don't know?
No, not really. It's actually kind of the opposite. If you're standing around talking to me and not petting her, she will give you the stink eye. She's like, hey, I'm supposed to be petted. I need to be petted at all times. There are dogs that she's not so sure of. Some dogs that, have this whole like, hi energy that she's like, no.
Oh yeah. Energy is
Yeah.
a big thing, but dogs, if it's that really nervous, high strung, that I could see how that could like make her nervous. Who's her best friend as a therapy?
So the one that she is actually like instantly super chill with was Bishop the Great Dane. And he even like, his head is way higher than the edge of her stroller. He just walks up. He's like, hey, and she sat up and they did a nose to nose sniff. And they're like, what's up? And they went on their own way. But there's the fun husky Michigan at the airport. I don't know if I sent you pictures that. So he loves her and he wants to play with her. And she is like, no. And so there was his owner is hilarious. Diane. Hi, Diane. So she put sunglasses on him. I don't know if you got the pictures up because she thought, well, if he's in disguise, maybe Stitches will let him come up and sniff her.
Oh boy, that's so funny.
So this is the whole, I mean, it's super fun doing this with your animals, but then also interacting with other crazy therapy animal people. That really does help.
Absolutely. Well, I could see how the Great Dane's energy is a whole lot different than a husky. And so I can see how, she might be a little bit more like, I mean, huskies, they're much more, I want to say, the hunters, kind of like my Jack Russells. I had two Jack Russells. One was very like, ooh, I'm going to go after that kitty cat. And the other one was like, can I give you a kiss? So one had a lot of high strung energy and the other one was much calmer. So, it just also depends a lot on, the individual animal, So,
yeah. And what their particular experiences are. There was a dog that we met at the airport that that therapy team had arranged to be there so that their shift overlapped with us because his best friend at home was the cat. And so he sees Stitches and he's like, hi, cat, let's play. And she is like, no.
She's like, get off of me.
She just did one of those like reared back and all this. And one of the wonderful people that works at the airport, she's one of the people that helps passengers get to and from places if they're in a hurry or they need extra help with a wheelchair or whatever. She was there visiting at the time. She actually blocked the dog. she wasn't sure what was happening, but he just really wanted to play, and they thought, oh well, Stitches will play with him, but yeah, Stitches has not had that kind of interaction with dogs.
Sure.
And so we'll when we meet dogs that have had that kind of interaction, it's hard to kind of tell them, hey, this cat doesn't know you.
Yes.
But there are, quite a few dogs we've interacted with where they've been so acclimated to how to approach a strange cat.
Very respectful.
Yes, very cautiously, and
yeah. Well, and so so you have a few cats, but she's the only one who's really suited to being like a therapy cat, and so she's just your like primary one. But are you considering getting any more cats, or are you good for a while?
We're good.
I have like puppy fever, so I'm always asking people, are you going to get any more cats or getting any more dogs? Just because I think I might be able to utilize them. It's my own selfish purposes.
Well, so what ended up happening? So I had always been a one cat household. And so because the big boy wanted a kitten, we got her. And because her and him would walk around like this, and they both got fat and lazy, just eating together and laying and sleeping together, we decided to get a third wheel. So we got a Tortie, which was Zoe, the one who tried to eat my hair. Torties are, I don't know if you're experienced with tortoiseshell cats, they're notoriously individual-minded, outgoing, vocal, opinionated, and I thought that's the perfect third wheel. So we had her, and then we are also kitten fosters.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, a couple years ago, we had a litter of 8 kittens, and that we were fostering, and then we foster failed. So
that happens.
So even though the big boy passed away a couple years ago, there's still 3 cats in the house. And actually, when we had her litter, that litter of 8, we had 11 cats in our house, and which can be fun, but it's just one of those like, wow, that's really crazy. So, but fostering is
I've met crazier.
Loads of fun.
Okay.
But it really is. It really is a certain type of personality. Like she has never done petted, which is kind of unusual for cats. Cats usually have some number that's already, hello, hey, hi, it's a number that's predetermined that you can pet them then, and then you get bit. And so there's a lot of things that you got to be watching for when a cat might be a great therapy cat.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I know a lot of people who go out and they do therapy dog work more than anything. And, one of the benefits to being part of a therapy dog organization is that you do get the insurance that goes along with that, because, things can happen, accidents happen. If somebody's walking in a walker and they just get startled by your animal, they could fall and, they could sue you, even though, they may not win. People still sue people. So I always hope it's a really good idea to be involved with an organization and get certified and get that insurance just to cover your butt. So,
and that's a big thing. A lot of places will only allow animals therapy teams. Will only let therapy teams that are actually registered with national groups like Pet Partners, because they have the insurance.
Absolutely.
And then that's another reason why we have to, I think Pet Partners is every other year you have to have an assessment done, an evaluation done with the mock situations to just make sure that the animal still wants to do this, first of all.
Absolutely.
But then to make sure that they're still enjoying what they're doing and that they're still reacting appropriately to how, as humans, we want them to react.
Yeah, it's not a
there's still a lot of
with the certification, which is always a good idea to go and be able to get recertified. I've trained a lot of service dogs and help therapy dogs be able to go and get certified. So there's a lot that goes into it, and yes, it's always a good idea to reevaluate things. Well, I am going to, definitely, look into coming out to your area at some point when things open up. I'd love to meet you guys in person. And I certainly appreciate you coming and spending some time today here with me. Let me see if I can get Andy out of my hair. Andy, what are you doing over there?
She usually likes to watch bird programs. She loves watching television, especially bird documentaries. So I'm surprised she's not really, well, maybe because you're so far away from her, but.
Probably. Andy.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the kind of therapy cat she is. But yeah.
Aw. Well, it was very wonderful talking to you today. And, hopefully we'll get some gigs out there. And, maybe it's something where, I just need a cat to go and lay on the couch, right?
Doesn't she make it look comfortable?
I know who to call.
She makes any furniture look just absolutely comfortable.
Let me try to get rid of Andy here for a minute. Andy, where'd you go?
One of the fun things that I'm pushing pet partners to assess better with the dogs on the assessments.
In me, yes.
You know how most people put tennis balls on the front of their walkers?
Oh, yeah.
On the back of the walkers? There are some dogs that are so tennis ball obsessed that I've actually seen dogs go to the nursing home and try out, and nope, they can't leave the walkers alone.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Oh, well, again, thank you. And I wish you the best out there, and hopefully you'll get back to work soon at the airport.
I hope so. We miss all of our buddies at the airport. I mean,
and I'm sure the staff members can use all the love too, because I know, like, when I go on set sometimes with animals, they're always like, can you just bring the animals to set, because it's so calming to the crew members, even if they don't work. And I'm like, yeah, you pay us, we'll show up, no problem. But that's they appreciate you.
That's always a huge thing wherever we go, especially in the healthcare facilities, that we're there as much for the staff as anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's really funny. When you go to the airport, you go through TSA, those guys that look like you don't want to mess with them, right? Like they look like they have such a presence, right? It's always those guys that come up to her and are like, kitty, 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 kitty.
They're the big teddy bears.
Oh, yeah. So we're there. I mean, we think about the poor TSA people, everything they're going through, and the gate agents and everybody else that are still working hard at the airport but don't get a chance to have the animal therapy for them.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, thank you again, and best of luck to you and Stitches. And again, I'll look forward to meeting you in person someday. And some people may have some questions, so feel free to come back in later to the chat, because people will watch this replay and they may have some questions for you. So,
absolutely.
All right.
Well, it's nice seeing you guys.
Thank you so much,
Andy.
Andy wants all my attention today. All right.
He's cute. Bye.
Andy. I don't know why Andy is just really loving on me today. So that was fun, right? And, if you have a really great cat that you think might enjoy being a therapy cat, I would totally encourage you to investigate that when things kind of get going again. Because, it does really show me that your cat is comfortable being out in public, whether it's being held or not by people. That's another story. Like I said, some of them really love that and some don't. Andy. Oh boy, Andy something today. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And tomorrow I'm going to be back with one of my trainers, Brittany, who, she has golden retrievers, and then she had a couple of cats, and then she ended up going and getting a couple of more cats because I really needed more different colored cats to be able to send to set. So she's a wonderful lady, and I can't wait for you to meet her. And it was funny because right after she got some of those cats, we got a really big job. And I can't wait to show you what that was all about and what it was like for her. And she's going to give you some advice if you're thinking about having your cats work. Andy, would you get out of there? So Andy's being a real attention hog today. Okay, guys, I will see you tomorrow. And then don't forget, on Thursday, I got the Savinsky cats from America's Got Talent. So if you're not sure who they are, go on and Google them and you can see. And she's going to come on and talk to us about, if you have great cats, maybe actually trying to what it looks like to have them perform. Okay. Bye, guys. I'll see you tomorrow at 3:00. Have a wonderful day. There's something, Andy. What do you want, baby?